Hello, this is Ariel Mamalu. I wanted to give you a quick under the hood view of how I structure my automation logic. And for this use case, there was a lot of integration with Notion, which is part of what you requested for. And so, what the project was about was to connect a database which held the information of most of my client's customers for his auto repair shop. And he wanted to be able to manage the information there without ever opening Notion and handling it on the platform. So he wanted a Telegram bot that would independently help him manage all his client information on the database. So now I'm going to show you how I structured the logic and how I overcame issues such as mistakenly deleting records, adding client information, and all of that from Telegram to Notion. So we're moving into the actual automation. This is the N8N canvas. This whole automation was built on N8N. And we start with the Telegram trigger. And that is basically listening for user responses on the bot. So when you send a message to the bot, Telegram trigger picks it up and it sends it to the switch router, which is the node we're in right now. And what that is looking for is it's a command parser. So the message you send, it passes that message and checks for commands, because there are certain commands that trigger certain actions, which are branches of the workflow. So if what you're sending to the bot is something generic or it doesn't follow any instruction that the bot is built to listen for, to act on, so a random message, there are certain instructions that work for the bot. So like /add means you add a new client, /status checks for a certain property of the client. There are many instructions. We'll get to that. An important feature here was the Levenshtein distance, error handling basically. And so when you make an error, as in a typo on a name for a client, and let's say it's a very sensitive function you want to perform, such as deleting, you cannot make mistakes by maybe misspelling a name and having a wrong client deleted. So I built in this code actually in the system which checks for similarity between words. It's called the Levenshtein distance. So what it does is that if you spell John as John instead of John, the system checks that John, which is in the system, is similar to the John which you mistakenly spelled. So the system will make sure that it will give you a confirmation, of course, that is this who you want to delete, and then you would see that the right spelling of the right client would be presented to you, and then you can go ahead and make your decision based on the options presented. So it eliminates the error of falsely deleting sensitive information. Let me show you a practical use case. Here I want to add a new client to Notion database independently from Telegram. So I send /add, which is the instruction to add a new client. It gives me a generic form, which when I open, I see all these form fields. And so I can add in a random customer name, say Ashley. There are only 3 form fields that are required, so I don't need to fill in everything. So the status means what is the property of the car? What state is it in? Does it need an estimate? What is the level of damage, the car needs? So once we add the client, we see that we get a confirmation message on Telegram, which the system sends saying client added successfully. You can now attach an image, which is usually the car insurance image. So once that is done, we can then go back to Notion and confirm that our client was indeed added. And then we can see from there, the client's information was added successfully to the Notion CRM. Now I'm going to show you how I add an image independently from Telegram and it goes to the row for the particular client automatically. The first thing is to upload an image, any image at all, which I have in my gallery. For the practical case, my client would upload insurance screenshots for his clients, but we're just going to make do with an example of a writing. Notion doesn't allow direct image uploading, so I had to upload it to an initial cloud storage, which was Cloudinary in this case. And then from Cloudinary, I obtained the image link for that particular image, which is whichever image I upload to the Telegram bot, and it would go into the specific role for the clients that I specify, and that image link will then show as the real image when I get into Notion. So here is the image. I will simply write in the syntax, add this image for Tiffany. And so once I send the image, the bot will recognize the syntax, which is adding the image for the particular page, which is the client's record. And it will send me a confirmation message as you have seen here. And I can just open this page and it will show me that that image has indeed been uploaded to the particular client's record in the Notion CRM. And this would be Tiffany's, where the image has been added to Tiffany's record. That's in the insurance claim column. And here we see the same image I uploaded to the Telegram bot shows up in Tiffany's Notion record. So I built that entire workflow from scratch. I had to make sure that the logic was modular and scalable to meet my clients' needs. Also ensuring that proper guardrails were put in place to avoid scenarios like data loss and mistaken commands and other undesirable scenarios. So I hope this gave you a good insight to my technical ability. Let me know any part of the workflow you'd want me to dive in deeper, and I'm looking forward to speaking with you and seeing how we can implement this kind of logic to your specific needs. So I hope to see you soon. Have a good day.